Hey. Hi, so I'm sorry I'm not able to be there today. We're having a plumbing issue, and today somebody was supposed to come and work on it, and they never showed up. So I have to be here tomorrow for them to come in the house so that our basement will stop flooding. All right, so let's talk about what the week's going to look like. So today, Tuesday, you were going to do the equation mastery today, but we're going to change that now to tomorrow. Okay, so today is percent increase and decrease. You have an exit ticket. Let's put exit ticket, and it is BL7 in IXL. Tomorrow, we're going to practice what you're doing today with a scavenger hunt after you do your equation mastery, and you do have a worksheet tomorrow. Then you're going to have a quiz on Thursday. Your quiz is going to cover tax discounts and tips, okay, which I know you guys just did, so that's what's going to be added in there. So hopefully you turned in your homework from last Wednesday, and then hopefully you've checked Canvas and you did last Thursday's ed puzzle. So I am going to be going through and check marking off who's got those in and who does not. Now say you don't know if you did your ed puzzle. So you go into Canvas, go into your dashboard, and then there's assignments. Now I listed our assignments from the day, and that was this day. Now notice it's only available until the 24th. So you only have today and tomorrow to get these done. And they're really not a lot. There are only 9 problems between both ed puzzles. So if you didn't do them yet, please do so, because it's that type of material is going to be on the quiz that's on Thursday. Okay. So then Friday, then we'll do simple interest. We'll review, and then you're going to have your unit test on this as well. Now, I know some of you signed up to do your test corrections from the last test, last Thursday. So if you want to come in Wednesday or Thursday this week to do that during lunch, please let me know. Okay, but look, we're really close to quarter 4. We only have this week, which is a short week, and then 5 more weeks, and then it is spring break. Okay, but remember, parent-teacher conferences are also right around the corner. All right, so let's get to today's lesson. So we are doing percent of change. So these have a little bit of a different setup than our previous work that we've been doing. But they're once you get it, you'll be easy with it. Okay, so we need to know how to solve percent proportions, which is what we've already learned. And so now we're going to find out what our percent increase or decrease is. And you need to know this for multi-step problems where you have percent applications. Next year, you're going to have to do percent of error. So that's all your fun stuff. All right, so if you didn't get the notes page yet from the sub, make sure you have that now. And then we're going to go through, and there's only 3 examples that's on this page, and then on the next page you're going to do a couple examples on your own before you do your exit ticket. All right, so a percent of change is a ratio that compares the change in the quantity to the original amount. So what did you change to end up with compared to what you actually started with? If the original quantity is increased, this is a percent of increase. If the original quantity is decreased, then the percent is of decrease. So that makes sense. So if your number goes up, you increase. If your number went down, you decrease. So we make a division problem. So this kind of tells you how you're going to set it up. Remember, we normally have our percent over 100, and then we have our part over our whole. Well, this time you're going to have your change over your original. And you're just going to keep this part of the fraction is what we're doing. So you're going to basically be making a division problem. So our first job is to find amount of increase or decrease. Well, let's see if I can remember. Pen. Okay. So we have to remember whenever you subtract with the larger number first. So if we went from 20 to 24, that means my number got bigger, right? So if it went bigger, we have an increase. When we subtract, we had 4. That is our amount of change. We changed by a value of 4. Now we make our fraction. Take your 4, because that was your change, over your original amount. Our original amount was 20. That is where we started. It is not always the bigger number or always the smaller number. It's the one you started with. And then this is where your division is going to come into play. All right, so if you need some room, do your division off. Remember, the denominator, the bottom number, always is your divisor. Eraser. Nope, it did not let me erase. There we go. Okay, 20 goes on the outside and 4 on the inside, and then add some decimal points in case you need it. Now, can 20 go into 4? Nope, so we have to add a 0. Can 20 go into 40? Yes, twice. And we get nothing. So we're done. So I didn't even need this extra 0. It was there to help us. Now, this is not my answer because is that a percentage? No, it is not. So if you're using calculators, you can just take that and take it times 100 and it's going to tell you your answer is 20. Or if you remember how we would take and do 2 hops, you can do that as well. So now our answer, we would say, is a 20% increase. And that part is important too. You have to declare and identify whether it was an increase or decrease. That's kind of the important part. Like, hey, I found the percentage, but did my value go up or down? All right, let's go to example number 2. Find the percent of change if the cost of gasoline went from $1.89 to $2.95. So this is our original, and this is where we ended up. So we have to first, remember, find your change. And if you notice, it says round to the nearest whole percent as well. So our change, we have to take our $2.95. Remember, the bigger value is always on top. And you have to do some borrowing. So that is our change. So now we can set up our change, over original. So my change is the $1.06. That's how much we increased. And our original was the $1.89. That's where we started at. Okay. So if you take your calculator, put your first number divided by your round number, you then get 0.5608. Now you can take your answer and multiply it by 100, or just go beep, beep, and move it. Now, we're going to the nearest whole percent. So is this 0 here big enough to push my 6 to a 7? Nope. So we'd say is a 56%. And then because our number went up, it is an increase. Okay. Alrighty. One more example, and then you can get a couple to try on your own. Tony bought a DVD recorder for $280. Now it's on sale for $220. Find the percent of change in the price and round to the nearest whole percent. Okay, so first job we know is to find our change. So we have to subtract first. So 280 minus 220 is 60. So that's our change. Our original is what he originally bought it for. So that goes on the bottom of our fraction. And if you take those and divide, this is what you get in your calculator. So you either multiply by 100 or go beep, beep, and you get a 75%. And then if you started at 280 and went to 220, did you go up or down? you went down, so it is a decrease. All right. Now, if you want, go ahead and flip your paper over. We're only going to do 2 more problems, and there's no real reason for you to have to get your textbook out for just 2 problems. You can do them on the back. Okay, so we have a guided practice. So I'm going to challenge you to pause right now and try this on your own. Then come back and check your answers. All right, so hopefully you tried pausing and tried these on your own. Okay, now one of the things I normally do right off the bat is I always put my percent sign and then I identify if it's a percent increase or decrease. That's little things people will forget, and that might cost you half a point because that does need to be included. All right, so for the first one, your difference, your change was 6 divided by your original of 30, and I got a 20% decrease because I went from 30 to 24. Number 2, you went a percent increase because it was larger at the end. Your change was 24, so you divided it by 126. And then you changed it. You didn't have to round up at all to 19% increase. All right, number 3, don't worry about that's a percent of error. That is more of an 8th grade standard. All right, your next job is to go into your iExcel. So let me go to my iExcel. Okay, and there is this one for you to do. Now it is BL7. Remember, you can go in here and you can literally type BL7 and it'll take you straight there. Then you don't have to pick from all the topics. Well, I guess not. So that's the one you want to do. Alright, so make sure you go through it. If you need to, use the calculator. One, you can already decide, well, was this an increase or decrease? So I can already tell it's either going to be a 50% decrease or a 49% decrease. This is where you can use what's the difference? Well, 300,000 minus 200,000 is 100,000. Okay, and you started at 200,000. So you can use your decimals. And this is also another way you can do it. Take your difference. There's my difference. Divide it by your original. Oh, I probably wasn't supposed to put the commas. Sometimes it's finicky and doesn't like commas. There we go. Now even go farther if you don't like having to move the decimal. Hit times 100. Ooh. This times 100. And you get your 50%. So then I can come back to my Excel and select my 50% increase. Why was I going to say decrease? I don't know. Long day already. And then you go through. So once again, like I said, look, oh, it did decrease this time. You can come back in here and just change your numbers now. So 100 minus 72. So here you just highlight 100 minus 72. And then divide by 100. The answer is 28. And it's a decrease. And there you go. Now, if you miss it, let's see. Remember, when you miss one, it explains to you. It tells you again what you're supposed to be looking for. It walks you through the steps. So make sure if you miss it, you're not just straight hitting got it and moving on. Look to see where your mistake was. That's how you actually learn from it. Okay? All right, have a great day.